Honorable Chief Minister of Rajasthan, Vasundhara Raje, Sadhguru, our keynote speakers, Gulzar Saab and Anne Wallman, who's come all the way from America, Their Excellencies, the High Commissioner of Australia, the High Commissioner of Malta, the Ambassador of Belgium, all our visiting authors and delegates from across the world. On behalf of Namita Gokhale, William Dalrymple, and all my colleagues at Teamwork, welcome to the Zee Jaipur Literature Festival. Ten years ago, standing outside the Darbar Hall on a cold, wind-swept morning, waiting for people to fill in and file in, would we have even imagined that 10 years later, we would be here at the front lawn welcoming the world to Jaipur? Thank you all. It's been an incredible journey, some good, some not so good, but at every step of the way, it's been a learning. We set up the festival with the very principles that have governed it over the past 10 years. A place for freedom of expression, a place where all sorts of voices can be represented, a place of equity, where people can come together from across the world and across India, and a place which was free. We've often been asked, why do you keep the festival free? There's so many people who come. When we set up the festival, we knew that in societies where there is inequity, places like India or America, the only thing that can bring about transformative change is knowledge. Subsidies, handouts, donations, this is one small step. The only way to bring about change is knowledge and education. Even as I stand here and speak, our colleagues from Pratham are out there taking authors to over 100 schools who won't necessarily have access to the festival. The Yuva Ekta Foundation has been working with 100 kids who've come all the way from Madhya Pradesh and from the villages of Rajasthan, working with mainstream children to bring together a sense of what the tomorrow can be, because that's what this festival is about. Why writers? Writers try and make sense of the world around us. They try and give a sense of the tomorrow. And in our today very chaotic world, ever evolving, through the miasma of noise and visual images, the only thing that can help us make sense is literature, is writing, is wisdom, a wisdom that's able to project a tomorrow. Good, bad, or ugly is irrelevant. And that is the reason year after year we come together and bring some of the most incredible speakers that you can find from across the world here to Jaipur. It is one of the only places that you can sit here on the front lawn and travel the world from Wellington to Washington and understand different cultures, different languages, people, their economies, their way of life, and perhaps open your mind just to see for a brief moment that we can all collectively live together irrespective of our differences. So thank you again, Shillong Choir, for bringing us that message of togetherness all the way from the Far East, really. To tell you a little bit about the festival program, may I invite our festival director, Namita Gokhale. They work tirelessly through the year to conjure up the magic that makes all of this possible. This year, we celebrate 10 years of the Zee Jaipur Literature Festival, and we celebrate 70 years of India's independence. And we're proud to have brought to you, to Diggi Palace and to Jaipur, a facsimile copy of the 1215 AD Magna Carta, which we will ask the Chief Minister to inaugurate after this. Ladies and gentlemen, it's based on the Magna Carta that all modern democracies have been created. The very fundamentals of democracies have been created. So at some point of time, during your stay at Diggi Palace over the next 5 days, make your way and look at this document. You can't go in great numbers. It is a treasured piece, and we'd like to thank the British Library specially for making it available and sending it here for the first time outside of the UK. Please welcome Namita Gokhale.
जी जयपुर साहित्योत्सव के 10वें संस्करण में आप सभी का स्वागत करती हूँ। अनेक लेखक और बुद्धिजीवी यहाँ आए और अपनी मन की बात रख कर गए। हर भाव और विचारधारा ने यहाँ अपना पक्ष पाया है। जेएलएफ साल दर साल और बेहतर, विशाल और सार्थक होता चला आया है। हर साल मैं जयपुर साहित्योत्सव के लिए एक उपमा ढूंढती हूँ, जैसे कि साहित्य का महाकुंभ या बरगद का वृक्ष। पिछले साल मैंने इसे कथा सरित सागर कहा। इस साल मन में आया सत्यम शिवम सुंदरम। मेरे लिए इस साहित्योत्सव का अर्थ, इस आयोजन के पीछे का दर्शन यही है। ज्ञान, शक्ति, विवाद, जिज्ञासा, सुख, शांति और आनंद के कई क्षण यहाँ जयपुर में आपको भी इसी सत्यम शिवम सुंदरम का आभास दे सकें। इसी उम्मीद के साथ आप सभी को एक बार फिर मैं पूरे जेएलएफ टीम की ओर से स्वागत करती हूँ। Friends and lovers of literature, welcome to the 10th edition of the Zee Jaipur Literature Festival. We live in the best of times, we live in the worst of times. There are no certainties left, and truth itself is in dispute in a post-fact world. But the power of words, of ideas, and of literature remains undisputed. Empires form and disintegrate, great rulers and tyrants disappear into the sands of time, but the epics remain, poetry remains, and yes, laughter remains, as does love and the quest for freedom. This year, we examine our changing times, the ideologies that define it, the social, economic, and political maps around us. We look at the world of the ancients, of Sanskrit classics, the enduring epics, and we look at young writers, fresh ways of seeing and understanding and doing. New languages are emerging. There's the visual shorthand of technology. And last year's words and last year's languages are being recast in new ways and new voices. Amidst the cycles of puzzling and often disruptive change, books past and present present answers to the puzzles, and literature is the force that links our human stories. In an increasingly parochial and polarized world, literature helps us scale the walls. It restores dignity and centrality to all that is human. The Jaipur Bookmark, which this year brings us to the heart of the publishing community here in the main festival grounds, has some incredible opportunities for writers and publishers and all in the business of books to meet and connect and understand the new paradigms. We are, as ever, a multilingual festival, and it's only fitting that translation should be one of our major themes. And we celebrate the work of translators and the role it plays in helping access literatures, cultures, and knowledge systems. We are honored to welcome Paul Beatty and Anne Waldman, S.L. Bhairava and Perumal Murugan, Gulzar Saab and Shazi Zaman, Alan Hollinghurst and Richard Flanagan, and so many others, including a few surprises that will unfold before your eyes. Sessions on the Indian Constitution, the Magna Carta, on Indica and the fascinating natural history of the Indian subcontinent, on women's voices, the movements from the margins to the center, all examine the ideals, ideologies, realpolitik that inform our world, as well as the freedom of the dreaming imagination. I would like to pay tribute to three dear friends today. One is the person who conceived the first ever Neemrana Festival of Indian Literature in 2002, which was in many ways the precursor for all the festivals to come, and this was Ambassador Himachal Shom. For this festival, the legacy of his festival rests on the memory of John Singh, who's the inspirational figure who, along with Faith, laid the foundations of this festival. And thirdly, my very, very dear friend, the writer and the Gandhian leader, Anupam Mishra, who came here many years and whose vision of conservation and sustainability inspires us all. Every year, I have in my mind an image or a metaphor for the spirit of the festival. 2011 was in my mind the Woodstock year. Then there was JLF as the Mahakumbh of literature and a spreading banyan tree. Last year, it was the Katha Saritsagar. And today, in 2017, I can only invoke the ancient concept of Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. The quest for truth, for beauty, for Shiva, the Lord of life, and death, master of the arts. Invoking the Tandav, the dance of life and death that celebrates the cosmic cycle of creation and destruction, the basis of the very existence of matter. The Anand Tandav, the dance of bliss, the Abhay Mudra, posture of fearlessness, with the third eye open to knowledge beyond illusions. In this spirit, we look forward to the next 5 days where we will interrogate and argue, agree and disagree to expand the sum of our understanding and the intuitions of what we do not know, but can only comprehend through the gift of shared knowledge. And my thanks to the Jaipur Festival, to the Zee Jaipur Literature Festival for helping us share this knowledge so gently, so compassionately, so fearlessly. Thank you.
I always tell the same story, but 12 years ago, the first reading took place in the Durbar Hall in Diggy Palace. 16 people turned up, of whom 12 were Japanese tourists who'd got lost looking for Amer. Luckily, some of you seem to have found your way this year. We crossed 1/3 people last year, and this year the registration is double anything previously, so it's going to be madness and mayhem. But I think if you ever want to see why we bother doing this, take the time at some point this week, one evening, to go down to Jaipur railway station. And there on the platforms, you will see 300 or 400 kids camped out who've come, dodged fares or whatever, found their way from Tamil Nadu or the northeast or the furthest ends of India. They can't afford a hostel, but they've come to see the writers and the literature. They are among the many hundreds of thousands every year whose minds are ignited by what we put on. I think the fact, thank you, I think that the fact that we have done this so much now and that there are 120 other festivals that have sprung up in our wake across India obscures the extraordinary nature of the fact that all that we put on here is completely free. When you go to New York to hear a Nobel Prize winner, you'd pay $250, maybe $500 to go to a grand literary dinner. Here we have Harvard, Oxbridge, St. Stephen's faculty, the winners of all the Sahitya Academy prizes, the Nobel, the Booker, the Samuel Johnson, great literary prizes from across the world, the greatest minds in the world, and anyone can walk in completely free. And for 5 days, the greatest minds of the world are yours. And it is a wonderful thing to have happened and something we are all enormously proud of. Thank you very much for coming back.
may I invite, to light the lamp, may I invite the Chief Minister, the Honorable Chief Minister of Rajasthan. And can I please ask all the camera people to sit for a second while they make their way to the stage. And then, ma'am, Sadhguru, Shreyasi, Jagdish Chandra ji, Anne Wallman, Gulzar Saab, could you join us on stage, please? Thank you. I hope that frightened you all enough up front. So now sit down, otherwise we'll start it again. Sit, please. Please sit down. Can I please ask the camera people to sit down? आप प्लीज बैठिए, बैठ जाइए. मुस्टैच बाद में साफ कर लीजिएगा, अभी बैठ जाइए. May I please ask the Honorable Chief Minister to say a few words, ma'am.
I love his authority. I wish I had it. But Sanjoy and the JLF team, Adarniya Sadhguruji, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to the JLF Festival. I seem to be doing it quite often. I was here last year to do the same thing. I hope it's not getting too boring. I'm going to try and change the narrative a little as far as I'm concerned. But thank you, Sanjoy, for having me here with everybody, because this is one of the high points of my year. I do look forward to this. I do look forward to the coming together across the world. Wonderful writers and wonderful minds, and also youngsters who you have made this space available to and allowed actually to be able to meet and talk to those people that they have perhaps admired from a distance and never thought for a minute that they would be able to actually meet. On my part, I'd just like to say that this has come a long, long way. And as you said, William, not 5 minutes ago, it has spawned a lot of other festivals, many copycat festivals. But I'm actually very pleased that these festivals have arisen, because I believe that this is probably one of the reasons that literature has caught like forest fire across not only the Indian continent, but this actually has even traveled abroad. So many, many congratulations to all of you for having made that happen.
I'm also delighted that the Magna Carta is here with us. And folks, you have to make it a point. This, I know, took a lot of doing. And that it's here in Jaipur is a huge tribute to us. I want to thank you for making that huge effort to bring it here today. And I'm sure that all those who actually managed to get a glimpse of it amongst the teeming millions will enjoy it. Because I am certainly going to make it a point to go and have a look at it. Yes, by the way, we've learned a lot from you. We need to keep up with you every year. And Jyotika, I don't think you should laugh because it's not just about the Digi Palace part of it, because you people manage that very well. But we have to manage the rest of Jaipur to make it look absolutely stunning and beautiful, to welcome you in. And by the way, I have to tell you that you have brought about a transformation, because something that occurred to us, kind of, that maybe so many guests are coming and maybe our home shouldn't look like this, has slowly translated into a situation where I believe that Jaipur is looking its finest in many, many years. And today, I have to thank you, because, and I have to tell you that this came home to me when Sadhguru sitting next to me said, no, I never sit next to Sadhguru, it's just not done. But today, I was forced into a situation where I had to occupy the corner of the chair just so that I could be there with him. And when he turned around and said to me, Jaipur is looking absolutely fabulous, I thought that that was the biggest compliment that one could get. And thank you guys, because you were one of the reasons that we've made this happen. We really believe that when so many people come from across the world and they go back to their countries, they go back saying, wow, what a place we were in. We loved those 5 days, and we just have to go back there again and again and again. This is an experience that I would like you all to have. But by the way, learning from all of you, we are also looking to make this Jaipur into a cultural experience. Last year we did if you remember, we did the rickshaws, colorful rickshaws. And then we also did Jogi art on bus stops. And this year, we have actually gone out to make a difference to the stations. So if any of you are going, and he just asked you, please go have a look, and you'll see so many children coming from various places around the world, but you'll also see beautiful stations because they've been painted in different ways and methods. So when you go there, you'll be able to see that and enjoy the color, which Rajasthan is anyway very famous for. But apart from that, take a trip to the zoological park. There also people have made an effort to do some painting, and I think you'll enjoy it. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was a good zoological park, but I thought that it had a long way to become the best. But there was a huge crowd, everyone elbowing each other. I too elbowed everybody just to see what exactly it was that they were actually looking at. It was the art. Apart from the animals, there was the art, and I'm really pleased to see that that has also become a focus point for people here. Then there are other wonderful experiences that are catering to young and old alike, and I want to just enumerate them. So if you're around at that time, please, it would be great for you to participate in it. So we have the world music in Udaipur, and the photography in Jaipur, the sacred music, which Sanjoy himself is doing in Pushkar, which in the last 2 years has already made an improvement, not just the festival, but Pushkar itself is happening the way Jaipur happened. You can see it slowly but surely changing because people are coming from outside and enjoying it, so the people of Pushkar are wanting to put on their best. Then we have the Theatre of the World happening in the Jawahar Kala Kendra, which is also completely revamped and looking different. Then your mobile phone now has the Smart Jaipur app, which can guide you to basically events, food, hotels, transportation, and also lets you check the quality of air. We're still not there, but we're making an effort. And the status of the street lights, if you want to know about that too. And we intend to keep making this experience better and better. So for a state as large as ours, challenges of development are, as you know, many. And we believe in consultation, in talking to friends, in talking to the people at the grassroots levels and also looking for the best people for the best advice. So we're not just restricting ourselves to the cultural landscape, but we have done something in water, since we are the state with the least amount of water in the country. It's about how to conserve water, and it's not about government doing it, but it's about the whole of Rajasthan, rich and poor, of all walks of life, pitching in to make a difference. And by the way, the water levels have come up across Rajasthan in most difficult places by 13 to 15 feet. And hand pumps, which were dry, have actually started to produce water again. So it's been a success, and it's not government, it's the people of Rajasthan. So when we do things together, things happen, things change. Similarly, education is transformed. So yesterday, the report came off, it's called the ASA report, which came out yesterday, and it tells me that with all the efforts we've made, the education has improved tremendously here in Rajasthan. I was really proud. Yesterday, we were at the India Today Women's Meet, and I was happy to be able to tell Mr. Chengappa at that meet that this has just arrived, and for us, it's a great thing, because not so many years ago, Rajasthan was at the bottom of the heap as far as this is concerned. And for me, this is very important, because more and more people are going to become part of this as more and more children educate themselves and start to enjoy literature and all those things that go and work around education. Then the wonderful digital enablement process, which we began in 2006-07, and today has gained fruition, has now actually brought on the card not just the digitization of more than 4.5 crore people in Rajasthan, and not more than 5,000 crores which are now in bank accounts, but are also bringing on the card the Bhamasha health insurance scheme, which is perhaps the largest today in the country, giving you an offer from 30,000 to 3 lakhs of rupees for people, individual people who cannot afford it. Then infrastructure, rural infrastructure, making it interesting by making things like Gramin Gaurav Paths and creating city Gaurav Paths, Paths meaning roads which one can be proud of, and each one in their village and each one in their city, if they have it, they are proud of it and they bring people to show it, and around it the village develops and improves. And so this is another interesting story. Then the girl child, cannot ignore the girl child with the woman chief minister. So it's very important that the girl child starts to do better. And so while across the country we hear about the wonderful things that they're doing, there is no other way but to incentivize through cash. Apart from all the other works that we're doing, incentivizing through giving them in the 9th standard if the girls stay in class, because as you know, parents are always trying to take the girls out as soon as they reach puberty. So a lot of people have helped us with this. The education standards have improved, midday meals have happened, so the parents are saying, why cook at home? Let's send the kids, all of them, girls and boys, to school together. And apart from that, creating a situation whereby the girl stays in school right up to the 12th standard by giving them money from the day the girl child is born to the day she passes out of the school, which is about 50,000 rupees, and most people do go for it. And therefore now our girl child is remaining in school, so that's a very, very important thing. And this is a narrative that we want to talk about, because we want, as we talk about it, more and more girl children to come into it. So, and one more thing, because we believe, like in Bhutan, there must be a happiness quotient. People must smile at each other. We get up every morning and we're in such a rage because there's so many horrible things to do in the day that we leave our home, and of course the newspapers don't do anything to help us. You see the front page and you hear about the rapists and you hear about the murders and you hear about all the horrible things that governments have done, and then you leave your home in an angry mood. By the time you read Office, I pity the guy who comes across you first, because he doesn't forget it for the day. And then he, in his turn, sees to it that the person he meets next also doesn't forget it for the day. So we decided that we must share a smile. This is something that Sadhguru tells us, that everybody else tells us, that it's time to turn a 100-watt smile onto at least 5 people in the day. You can count it, because it's damn difficult, let me tell you that. You smile 100 watts at one person, the moment you smile at him, he thinks there's something really strange, so he looks around to see who exactly it is that you're smiling at. And you point to him and you say, it's you. And he smiles 100 watts back at you. And if you can go on doing that, you have a happy state. Maybe not now, but maybe 3 years from now. And in this thing, we have added two very important things. We've talked to our collectors in every district and said, can we collect toys from all those people who've stopped using them and who have these things lying in the house? Can we make toy banks? And can we distribute them or allow children who don't have these to play with them in the hospitals and in the creches? It'll make a difference to their lives. And the other thing, guys, which I think you might enjoy, is that we're trying to make containers into which we want to put books which we have collected from here and there, and from all our friends who have no room to keep them. So put them into these containers and drive the containers from ward to ward and allow people to actually have the pleasure of reading, those who can't afford it. And let me tell you, that is something that I think is actually taking off, and I hope that we're going to be able to make it much more important in time to come. There's one more thing, and that is about clothes. We've told our collectors that all those people who have cupboards full of clothes which are of no use, please put them into a heap in a place where the collectors tell you. They'll be washed and cleaned and handed out to all those who cannot afford a second change. And apart from that, the last thing which I believe is going to be of great importance to all of us, everyone in Rajasthan and those from outside who are our friends and family, please walk with us down this path, because I believe that there are small things that make people happy. It doesn't require huge amounts of money. And it doesn't require you to be a rich person to be able to do this. You just have to be rich of heart, have a large heart, and be able to share that love with everybody. And finally, I want to take this opportunity to thank the festival directors, William and Namita, Sonjoy, and the rest of the JLF team, who have worked not tirelessly this year, but over 10 years to make this into something that has left an indelible mark on all our hearts and minds, and a huge footprint across Rajasthan, not to say the rest of the country and the youngsters. Then Diggy and the Diggy family. Most gracious hosts, and I'm sure that you will find that your hospitality here, despite the space, and by the way, as he said, from 12 Japanese tourists. Now, what did you say, 250,000 people? 250,000 people. 1/3 people now, actually bumping into each other, crossing each other's paths, shrugging each other, trying to get to the best spots. Every year for the JLF festival, it's gone from strength to strength. So to thank the JLF and to thank the Diggy family for carrying on this warmth and this hospitality that we have managed to put across to everybody, free. So we love you and we want you back again and again, and we want you all, young and old, to enjoy this as much as over the last 10 years we have enjoyed putting it out for you. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you for being here with us today. And thank you for those people who come back year on year. Thank you. Come back again. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Minister. May I please invite Shreyasi Goenka from the Zee Entertainment Group to say a few words. And can I please ask the press to continue to sit down? We have a very beautiful Chief Minister, but she looks exactly the same yesterday, today, and will do so tomorrow. So settle down.
Good morning, everyone. I welcome you all to this extraordinary congregation of the world's greatest literary minds. William, Namita, Sonjoy, Preeta, congratulations to you on its 10th edition. It is a matter of great pride for us at Zee Entertainment to be an integral part of the Zee Jaipur Literature Festival for the 4th consecutive year and be a part of this incredible journey. We are honored to have played our part in facilitating this celebration of excellence. As always, we are amidst a veritable constellation of towering intellectuals who challenge notions, who inspire opinion, and even debate. I look forward to an invigorating 5 days. I hope you all enjoy them, as I know I will. Thank you. Jai Hind.